The truth occurs.
Hi, it's Sonia here. I'm convinced that this person that I'm about to talk about is really just looking for attention. So the last thing I wanted to do was give her attention. But this thing is just blowing up my Facebook feed. Wow, this is seriously important. Like, somebody's balls need waxing. We need to talk about this. And now I have an opinion. So I'm talking about Jessica Yaniv, transgender woman who testified at the Human Rights Tribunal after being refused a Brazilian wax. She says she's been repeatedly refused waxing services since 2018. Human Rights Tribunal is actually conducting hearings on this. Okay, so basically what you have here is a transgender woman who is pre-op or non-op who wants her balls waxed. And like, this is at the Human Rights Tribunal? Are you kidding me? She wants her balls waxed by a woman in a salon for women. First world problems. The thing is, you have balls, okay? So yes, you identify as a woman, but when it comes to waxing the genitals, what really matters is what kind of genitals you have. It's not like a personal thing. It's just some people don't want to touch balls. If you have balls, you have balls. So you have to go where people will deal with balls. It's not like a human rights issue or a hate crime. It's just balls. So, you know, the weird thing is, the more you hear about this, the more you're like, yeah, I know. Well, she's a woman. Let's accept. Okay, she's a woman. She's got balls though. She can't get them waxed. Yeah, that's got to be hard. It's got to be tough. You're going around, your balls are hairy. You're like, I can't do this myself. I've tried. It didn't work. Nobody will wax my balls for me in a women's salon. And then it's like, wait a minute. Is that all you've got to worry about? Who waxes your balls? I think this is like the height of first world problems. I mean, does she have any real problems? Yes, she's transgender. She must have some kind of problems. It's hard being transgender. But really? It's all about your balls? I mean, there's starving children in Africa, People being detained to be deported, sometimes detained under really bad conditions. That's a human rights issue. Refugees, that's a human rights issue. People being unable to get a job because of a disability, that's a human rights issue. Being refused housing because of your race or your ethnicity, that's a human rights issue. Being unable to get education because you have special needs, that's a human rights issue. Waxing your balls, that's not a human rights issue. And the thing is, actually, I'm quite sympathetic to transgender people in general. I know some of you might be surprised for whatever reason, because it's not the most popular thing on the internet. I actually am, because I believe that in many cases it's a medical condition. It's some form of intersex. Like, either if you look hard enough at the genetics, you'll find an actual intersex condition that's genetic or hormonal, or it could be like a kind of intersex brain. Not to say that there's no such thing as people who are trans and also have a personality issue or other mental health issues, but I don't think it's fair to paint it as that, because there's evidence that there is such a thing as intersex and there's differences in the brain. So how can I judge anyone? So on the whole, I'm pretty sympathetic, and I don't think they should be discriminated against. But when it comes to waxing your balls, balls is balls. You got to go where they handle the balls. It's really that simple. It's not a hate crime. It's not a human rights issue. And I can't even believe I made a video about this. I'm thinking there's a really simple solution to this, because I'm sure Jessica Yaniv is not the only transgender woman with balls that are prickling her. There's probably a big market for waxing the balls of transgender women. If there was one salon that put out an ad saying, like, we're looking for someone who's willing to wax balls on women, they could hire that person, and then they could make that their niche, that they wax balls. It doesn't have to be a human rights issue. Somebody should just clue into the fact that they can attract this niche market, and then everyone would be happy, including Jessica Yaniv. Oh well, I guess I fell for the bait. Anyway, let me know what you think. And, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for your support on Patreon, and I'll see you next time.